ASEAN has called for maximum restraint as China holds its largest military drills in the Taiwan Strait. Ministers have warned that tensions could spark open conflicts and unpredictable consequences. The talks among foreign ministers from Southeast Asian nations in Cambodia have been overshadowed by Ms. Pelosi's recent visit to Taipei. ASEAN says it is ready to facilitate peaceful dialogue between all parties. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, who attended the talks, reiterated that Washington's stance on China remains unchanged.
The United States continues to have an abiding interest in peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. We oppose any unilateral efforts to change the status quo, especially by force. We remain committed to our One China policy, guided by our commitments under the Taiwan Relations Act, the 3 communiques, and the 6 assurances.
And Leong Wai-kit joins us live from Phnom Penh. Wai-kit, escalations in the Taiwan Strait are dominating the ASEAN meeting, given that different countries have different levels of dependence on China and different types of relations. Have you seen any signs of leaders taking sides on this issue?
Well, obviously, there are some leaders who have been choosing sides, especially the foreign ministers from the G7 nations, including countries like Canada, France and Germany, as well as the EU representative. They are singing the same tune as the US in that they're slamming China for using Nancy Pelosi's Taiwan visit as a pretext to increase military activity in the Taiwan Strait. For ASEAN foreign ministers, though, it is very clear their position has always been that they do not want to be forced to choose sides. In fact, at the end of the day, all they want is peace and security in this region. A key point that must have been communicated strongly to China as well as Washington when the bloc's foreign ministers met them separately. Now, as of now, there are no planned meetings, no known planned meetings between China and US while they're here in Phnom Penh. But we do know that ASEAN Chair, Cambodian Prime Minister Hun Sen has separately met with China's Wang Yi as well as Washington's Antony Blinken, perhaps using ASEAN's platform as well as Cambodia's position as ASEAN chair to try and facilitate some form of resolution among all these key parties.
Wai-kit, before all this controversy blew up over Ms. Pelosi's visit to Taiwan, this ASEAN meeting was supposed to have focused on the crisis in Myanmar. Would you say that took a backseat to US-China tensions?
Well, I wouldn't say so, because based on the descriptions used by countries like Singapore, Indonesia and Malaysia, they describe the Myanmar discussions as extensive. And as you've heard earlier, I reported that Foreign Minister of Indonesia, Retno Marsudi, told me that the ASEAN foreign ministers all agreed that there must be a paragraph on Myanmar at the joint communique. That's typically an official document issued to list down the key issues discussed at the ministerial meetings. But a key insider told me that right now it appears that the Myanmar army is resisting the wordings of that paragraph. They say it is very harsh. It is fighting with some ASEAN member states to resist that paragraph. Now, this leads to some observers thinking that whether or not the paragraph on Myanmar would eventually make it in the joint communique. Now, remember, it is very important for Cambodia as ASEAN chair to issue this joint communique. So perhaps some observers are thinking if that cannot be put together, could there be a separate statement put together by the foreign ministers to register their concerns, register their key issues and points on Myanmar? Well, that really remains to be seen, but I'll be keeping a close watch while I'm here in Phnom Penh.
And you will certainly be reporting back to us after you keep a close watch. Leong Wai-kit reporting live from Phnom Penh.
Several world leaders have also met on the sidelines of the ASEAN summit, including US Secretary of State Antony Blinken and the European Union's foreign policy chief Josep Borrell. The two leaders discussed many issues, particularly the food and energy crisis that was worsened by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Mr. Borrell also thanked the US for its contribution, strong cooperation and friendship. Meantime, Japan's foreign minister noted the close ties that exist between Japan and ASEAN, saying that he hoped to continue strengthening the relationship.
We really would like to continue working closely with the ASEAN side in order to liven up the 50th year and further strengthen ASEAN-Japan relationship. Thank you.
At the opening of the ASEAN-China Foreign Ministers meeting, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi praised the relations between China and ASEAN, especially in strengthening strategic communication and maintaining peace and stability in the region.